Have you ever stopped talking to a woman and wondered what she's thinking? What she'll do next? There's a powerful dynamic at play when communication halts. And trust me, the outcome might surprise you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand her reaction in a way that could change how you approach relationships forever. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more insightful videos like this one. Let's jump in. Picture this. You've been talking to her for weeks, maybe months. Texts back and forth, deep conversations, maybe even a few disagreements. But then, one day, something changes. You pull back. You stop texting, stop calling, silence. What happens next? Is she hurt, relieved, confused? Let's explore the 3 possible reactions a woman might have when you stop talking to her, and the deeper reasons behind each one. The first thing many women do when communication stops is reflect. Yes, she might overthink. She'll replay your conversations, analyzing every word, every interaction. Was it something she said? Something she did? This reflection isn't just about you. It's about her trying to make sense of the silence. And here's where it gets interesting. Her reaction depends on the foundation of your relationship. Was your connection built on honesty and respect, or was it shaky? If it was strong, she might come to the conclusion that you're going through something and give you space. But if there were cracks, she might assume the worst. So ask yourself, what message are you sending by your silence? Have you ever been in a situation where someone's silence left you overthinking? Let me know in the comments. Now here's the second thing that might happen. She matches your silence. This is where things can get tricky. When you stop talking to her, she might decide to do the same. This isn't out of spite, but self-preservation. No one likes to feel like they're chasing someone who's pulling away. In her mind, she might think, if he's not making an effort, why should I? This reaction is especially common if she's someone who values her self-worth and boundaries. But there's a hidden power in her silence. By matching your energy, she's sending a clear message. She's not going to fight for someone who isn't fighting for her. So what does that say about you? Take a moment to think about this. Is her silence pushing you to reflect on your own actions? And then, there's the third, and arguably most impactful reaction. She moves on. But what does it truly mean for a woman to move on? And what lessons can you, as a man, take from it? Let's dive deeper. When you stop talking to her, she might feel hurt or confused at first. But over time, a woman with emotional maturity and self-respect will choose to reclaim her peace. She'll focus on what makes her happy, whether it's diving into a passion project, spending time with loved ones, or rediscovering her sense of self. She realizes that her worth isn't tied to someone else's silence. But here's the catch. When a woman moves on, she isn't just walking away from you. She's walking toward a version of herself that doesn't need your validation. This is where growth happens. Her decision to move on is both a reflection of her strength and a subtle reminder of what's lost when communication is absent. Imagine seeing her thriving, laughing, glowing, achieving her goals, all while you're left wondering what could have been if only you had said something. How does that make you feel? Are you prepared for the possibility that your silence has pushed her beyond your reach? And here's a question to reflect on. Was her moving on the outcome you anticipated, or did it reveal something deeper about the dynamic you created? Remember, when silence persists, it speaks volumes, sometimes louder than words ever could. So, let me ask you, if you reached out to her one day only to realize she had found her happiness elsewhere, how would you respond? This isn't just a thought experiment, it's a call to action. The way you handle silence can shape the entire trajectory of your relationships. And then there's the third, and arguably most impactful reaction. She moves on. Silence, when prolonged, can send a message that the relationship or connection doesn't matter anymore. If she's emotionally mature and values her peace, she'll start to focus on herself. You'll see her doing things she loves, hanging out with friends or chasing her goals. And here's the kicker. When she moves on, it's not out of bitterness. It's a sign of growth. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Did you give her the silence she needed to grow, or did your silence push her away forever? Imagine this. One day, you decide to reach out again, but it's too late. She's grown stronger, wiser, and maybe she doesn't need you anymore. How would that feel? This is where Stoicism offers a powerful perspective. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When communication breaks down, it's easy to let emotions dictate your actions. But a Stoic understands the importance of pausing, reflecting, and acting with intention. Silence, in many ways, mirrors the philosophy of Stoicism itself. Imagine this. When someone stops speaking to you, the space left behind can feel unsettling, like an unfinished symphony. But what if, instead of filling that silence with assumptions or fear, you chose to use it as an opportunity for growth? This is what a Stoic does. They embrace the pause, finding clarity amidst the noise of emotions. When you stop talking to someone, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you're creating a moment of reflection, not only for them, but also for yourself. This pause can be a powerful reset if handled with purpose. However, if your intention is to manipulate or punish, that silence becomes a weapon rather than a tool. Ask yourself, am I using this moment to foster understanding, or am I avoiding responsibility? Now, let's dive deeper into the dynamics of silence and how it can align with Stoic principles. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that our inner peace shouldn't depend on the actions of others. By practicing intentional silence, you're choosing to focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your reactions, your growth. But remember, intentional silence is not about shutting people out indefinitely. It's about taking a step back to gain perspective, to let emotions settle, and to decide your next move with wisdom. For instance, if you've stopped talking to someone because of a disagreement, take a moment to reflect. Am I avoiding them because it's easier than addressing the issue? Or am I giving myself the space to approach the conversation more thoughtfully? There's a fine line between silence as a tool for clarity and silence as an escape from accountability. Stoicism challenges you to choose the former. Here's an often overlooked aspect. Silence doesn't have to mean disconnection. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments that relationships grow stronger. When you're silent, you're giving the other person the chance to speak, to express themselves without interruption. You're also showing that you value reflection over reaction. This is the essence of Stoic communication. Listening more than you speak, understanding more than you judge. Imagine a scenario where you stop talking to someone, and instead of reacting with anger or frustration, they choose to reflect. That silence could become the foundation for a deeper understanding between you two. But for this to happen, your silence must be intentional, not accidental. It must communicate respect, not indifference. Let's not forget, silence can also be harmful when misused. If your intention is to punish or control, you're not practicing Stoicism, you're feeding your ego. This kind of silence can leave lasting scars, eroding trust, and damaging relationships. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. If someone's actions upset you, silence can be a mature way to process your feelings, but only if you eventually seek resolution. Think about this. Are you using silence as a shield or as a stepping stone to growth? One isolates, while the other connects. The choice is yours, but the consequences are inevitable. So, how can you apply these principles in your relationships? Start by being intentional with your communication. If you need space, communicate that. Let the other person know that your silence isn't about rejection but reflection. This simple act of clarity can prevent misunderstandings and strengthen your connection. And when someone goes silent on you, resist the urge to assume the worst. Instead, channel your inner Stoic. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? By focusing on what you can control, you'll find peace amidst uncertainty. In the end, silence is a double-edged sword. Wield it with care, and it can become a tool for growth, understanding, and clarity. Misuse it, and it can cut the very bonds you wish to preserve. So the next time silence enters your life, embrace it, but do so wisely. This is where Stoicism offers a powerful perspective. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When communication breaks down, it's easy to let emotions dictate your actions. But a Stoic understands the importance of pausing, reflecting, and acting with intention. If you've stopped talking to her to test her loyalty or strength, ask yourself, is this a true reflection of your character? Silence can be powerful, but only when used wisely. Remember, it's not about control or manipulation, it's about clarity. So what will a woman do when you stop talking to her? She might reflect, she might match your silence, or she might move on. Each reaction tells a story, not just about her, but about the relationship you've built together. The next time you're tempted to go silent, think about the message you're sending. Is it one of growth, respect, and intention? Or is it one of avoidance and confusion? The choice is yours. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that subscribe button and join our community of thoughtful minds. Let's navigate life's challenges with wisdom, resilience, and a touch of stoicism. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.